Congratulations, Tyson.
Thank you.
I wonder where you look at your place in boxing history and heavyweight history as a 6'9", 277-pound guy. I can't imagine there's too many heavyweights in the history of the sport that would be able to deal with you. How do you see your place when you look at the whole history of boxing?
You know, I've always been one of these people who always says, like, I can never fight people from the past, so I'd never disrespect anybody. I can only beat whoever's in my era, and I've done that all my life. I don't like competing with other fighters from the past because it's fantasy and it's not reality. And I wouldn't like to disrespect any of the former champions, the long, long line of champions in the heavyweight, even from when heavyweights were like 185 pounds, right till today. I'd never disrespect any of them, and I respect the sport wholeheartedly. And let's just say I'm the lineal champion of my era, and I can only be the best of my day, and I've done that. I'm the best fighter in my era. I'm the generation fighter. I actually feel sorry for all these guys who's had to fight me, because I'm in the dressing room at home. I'm not nervous. You know, it's a boxing fight to me. I feel sorry for them because they're fighting the fighter of the generation. That's for sure.
And, you know, Tyson, you followed the sport for a long time. So if you don't want to put your place in history, who are the heavyweights that you love the most and that you look at that you feel like stood above other guys?
You know, there's a long, long line of them. And they go right back to John L. Sullivan, Jack Dempsey, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, all these guys, the Klitschko brothers. There's been so many great champions. Even the guys from today like Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk and myself and everybody else, they're all good champions, but without sounding too sharp and clever, I place myself right on top of the pile. I believe that I could beat anyone in the history. Any man born, I believe I've got a really good chance in beating him. There was always a way of beating Tyson Fury, and I've always said it very, very clearly. Just got to knock me spark out, and if you can't do that, I'll win, and that's it. But like I say, I can only be the best of my era, and I'm definitely that.
Sean?
Tyson, congrats on winning one of the greatest fights of all time. What would you say were Deontay's effective adjustments and improvements tonight? What did he do better than the first two fights?
What was that again? Can you say that again? Because I didn't hear you.
There's a really bad echo.
Oh,
it's really hard
Tyson,
to hear.
congratulations on winning one of the greatest fights of all time. What would you say were Deontay's effective adjustments and improvements from the first two fights tonight? That made it...
Yeah, I got it time. Yeah, he improved. He worked on his boxing and stuff. It was a different fight, you know. It was a much different fight from fight 2 and a much different fight from fight 1. He came in real heavy tonight, like 238 pounds, and I believe that helped him, and he was definitely hitting solid. But you know what? I thought that we fought it all out there, and all the allegations that they made towards me, like throughout the build-up of this fight, and we fought like two warriors in there, and I went over to shake his hand and say, well done. And he was like, no, I don't respect you. I was like, how can you say I've cheated when you know in your own heart and your full team knows that you just got beat fair and square? So it's just like, it's just a sore loser in boxing or what, but I'm sure he's not the first one and he won't be the last one. But I've acted like a gentleman throughout my career, and that's all I can do as a man.
Straight back here, Tyson. Dan Raphael from The Ring magazine. You mentioned a few moments ago, you had mentioned Alexander Usyk, and I just wondered, I know the fight just ended, the great fight, but do you have any thoughts or desires in the future to face him for the Undisputed Championship, to get those other belts? I know you're the lineal champion, but he seems like the guy that you might want to fight next, or Joshua if he wins the rematch.
We'll see, you know. I've just earned a well-earned break from everything. Been away from my family for 6 months in total. Been home 2 weeks out of the last 6 months. So before I start thinking about fighting other men, I'm going to bask in this victory, because this tonight was one of my greatest wins. I got off the floor to do it, and you know, I'm the big dog in the division. I believe that probably one of the heaviest heavyweight champions in history tonight, 277 pounds. And you know, I was fit, I was strong in there, and I felt good. So yeah, we'll just see what today brings, and tomorrow as well.
Fair enough. One other question for you, Tyson. Frank mentioned it earlier when he made his opening remarks. I wondered how, it was a great crowd here and a great enthusiasm, but give me your thoughts about not being able to have the British fans that are so raucous and supportive of their fighters in the building to support you.
you know, it was a great atmosphere in here tonight. The fans were amazing, and everybody who bought a ticket in here got the money's worth, definitely. But, you know, the British fans couldn't travel, and we saw the support that I had last time in Vegas. Vegas would have been full of Brits. We would sold this arena out 10 times if we'd have been allowed to travel. But, you know, this is the pandemic, and worse things have happened at sea, and we'll see what happens next.
Mike Hoppinger, ESPN. Tyson, congrats on an amazing victory, and more importantly, maybe being in a great fight. And I'm wondering, I know you know your history as well as anyone for boxing. Does this mean a little more extra to you to be involved in such an amazing fight that people are going to talk about for years and years?
Yeah, it was a great fight. You know, rarely do we see heavyweight trilogies. I believe the last one was Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield, and those fights didn't disappoint either. They were great fights. Me and Wilder saga is done now, done for good, and it was definitely a historic trilogy for sure. Swung both ways, and both fighters had the opportunity to seize the moment, and it was just that I showed the initiative and dug deeper, and I wanted it more, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to that sort of fight, it's who's willing to push further. And I wasn't willing to let it go to the scorecards. I was definitely trying for a knockout.
And follow up real quick. You were pushing hard for that knockout. Were you surprised that Wilder didn't go earlier, or that the ref didn't stop it, or the corner?
No, you know, Wilder's a very tough guy, and he's got heart, definitely got heart to keep going. But I think one of the ringside doctors or one of the commission people got in the ring at one stage to check he was okay. I'm not sure what was going on. I thought they might have pulled him out there, but he took a lot of punishment tonight, Deontay Wilder, and that puts a lot of mileage on the clock. So did I. I took a lot of punishment as well. Had some good shots, and I got put over and got back up, and it was just a great fight all in all, you know. Like Sugar said, you got to take your hat off to Wilder's team and him as well. He put up a good fight, and that's what I'm here for. I wasn't here to blow someone over in one round. I travelled the world for so many years to find challenges, and he gave me a real worthy challenge tonight for sure.
Tyson. Gareth Davis from The Telegraph. I just wanted to ask you, could there be any consideration that this could be the end of your career and that you could walk away retired as the top of the era?
I can't really hear you there, Gareth.
Tyson, are you considering, or could you consider retiring even at this point?
Do you know what, Gareth? I'm going to go out and have a couple of drinks and relax. I'm not even thinking about boxing. Like I just said, I'm basking in this glory. Because last time, after the fight too, I sort of like just went out, went to bed, and then got up the next day and flew home. And this has been a well-deserved victory tonight, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not thinking about anything else. And all the way through, people were trying to overlook Deontay Wilder. But not for one moment did I want to say that I'm going to overlook him or look at somebody else. Because if I would have looked past Wilder tonight, he'd have been sat here and not me.
And after a thrilling contest like that, you must be incredibly proud of yourself, as you said. But are you really going to fall into a depression now?
I hope not. I'm going to try my best to keep positive and stay focused on being happy. And I've got a lot to be thankful for in my life. God's given me everything that I've ever asked for, and I've got a lot to be thankful for sure.
Thank you.
Tyson, Keith Idek from BoxingScene.com. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on if you think Deontay Wilder will fight again. He took a lot of punishment tonight and was viciously knocked out.
I've not seen the actual the knockout, but I felt it. You know, I felt like he was getting tired and he was getting fatigued, and I hit him solid with a crunching right hook right in the side of the temple. And shots like that, they end careers. And I just hope that he's okay. You know, he took a lot of punishment tonight with left uppercuts, right hooks, right hands, and it was definitely took some punishment. So we'll see what he can do in the future.
Hi Tyson, Allie Bailey with Bleacher Report. So about over 80% of the betting public tonight favored Wilder. What do you say to those who doubted you?
They always doubt.
Where did you get your statistics? I mean, Fury was a 3-1 favorite. It went down to 250 to 1. So where did you get that the public? I mean, really, this is serious. FanDuel, the greatest bet app, which is a sponsor of the fight, I mean, you're making up stuff. The public, look, this is Las Vegas. What you're talking about is that Tyson was a big favorite, so the small bettors who come in at the last minute bet the underdog. Right. I've seen 50-1 fights where there's more bet on the underdog in the last hour by the public. Believe me, the betting favored Tyson Fury.
All right, thank you.
Next time they know who to put their money on.
Yeah, like Frank said, next time they know who to put the money on if they want to keep it in the pocket and earn a few quid.
Come on.